Hello, welcome to Polar Painting and Gaming. I'm Kyle. This is another list reaction critique. This one is from Dimitri. It's called Mage College Dropouts. I wanted to make a list that would feature Sacred Band, Dropouts, first of them needing I can read. I swear I can read. First of them needing auxiliaries to cast on other regiments. Should have stayed in school. Possibly. So, let's take a look. Mage College Dropouts. We've got a Polemarch Warlord, Blade of Eakides, Overkill, 4 stands of Agema, 1 is a Sacred Band Auxiliary. We have Minotaur Haspists, got MSU Sacred Band, got a block of Thorakites, 5, 1's a Thyrean. We got an Ipparchos, we got 4 Companion Cav, got a 7 block of Hoplites with a Dorilates and Haspist, 2 Skorpios Chariots, and another Sacred Band. How many Sacred Band? Plus 1. It's just the 2? Just the 2. Alright. There's some funky things going on here. So, first of all, I don't recommend ever. I really hate it when my headset dies. As I was saying, I don't ever recommend. In fact, one might say I highly discourage the use of upgrades that only apply to duels. Why is that? Because duels are incredibly rare. Gosh, that stupid wire looks funky. Duels are rare, and the only time you really participate in a duel is when both characters like to duel. Otherwise, the duel's either not being initiated, or the other one's just like, nope, I'm not dueling you, because I lose my character. And that's if you even have 2 regiments with characters meet each other on the table, because that might not happen either. If an upgrade happens to have dual properties on top of like just general fighting abilities, then it's fine. But just dedicated dueling abilities, hard no for competitive. If you're not being competitive and you just like to duel and your buddies like dueling too, great. But I generally approach these from a competitive mindset unless you tell me otherwise. And I don't, let me verify. Yeah, there's nothing saying not competitive, so my natural state is to go to competitive. Agema. Oh, right. So where is this Polemarch going? Is he going in the Agema? Is he going in the Sacred Band? Is he going in the Thorakites? My assumption is he's going in the Agema because of the Andromachos. I don't recommend that. With the change to fluid, Agema actually kind of suffer from having a character with them. Because you're limited to 3 regiments in your front for fluid to work, right? So the Sacred Band Auxiliary makes sense because you've got regiments of Sacred Band. So that I wouldn't say that's a poor choice. But adding the characters, well, now you've got 2 stands in the back that are contributing 1 attack. You're just losing a ton of value on that. So what I would do is I actually have the Polemarch and the Thorakites. Give them an Andromachos. You could potentially leave it on Agema. I don't like Andromachos in the Agema, but it's okay there. So yeah, I'd swap him to the Thorakites or even the Sacred Band. Especially if you give him lighter alloys, like drop a stand of Thorakites, give him lighter alloys, put him in the Sacred Band. Now the Sacred Band can actually move, because they're a heavy that's March 6. So lighter alloys helps them get around the table, set up for that Polemarch supremacy turn. Get an officer on the Thorakites. So if they've got a character, Andromachos, suddenly they're incredibly killy. Really even more so than the Agema, I think, because of that cow. If no character, give them the Lokagos. That they really benefit from that Lokagos because the resolve is so low. Ipparchos is good. All right, this Hoplite block. I hate this. The Hoplites don't like not having a character with them. They really don't. Especially with the Dorilates, you'd be better off with a Lokagos so they can receive orders easier. Like the Dory, yeah, helps with their output, but you don't have a character with them. Like honestly, I would scrap this entire regiment for, first of all, more chariots. Maybe you don't have more chariots. I get that. More chariots, more horses, anything. Hoplites hate being without a character. And you've already kind of got a block of Thorakites that, I don't know. It's just the list is a little just disjointed. Sacred Band. So that's another thing. Like, why go with the Hoplites when you could have Phalangites that can have Sacred Band Auxiliary, and now it's another regiment that you could potentially cast on? Like, this just doesn't fit. And Phalangites are more likely to do well without a character. Personally, I would move stuff around. Oh, I didn't even see the Haspist. I would move stuff around so the Polemarch is in your block, whatever that block is. Hoplites or Phalangites. Phalangites are better because you're trying to do the Sacred Band build. I hate Haspists. I think they're so average at everything. You don't even need them because you have 3 mainstays, so you could just completely nix that regiment, do something else. Like really anything else. Anything else. I just think they're so mediocre. I think everything they do, something else does better or cheaper. Yeah, get your list focused down again, assuming this is competitive and not casual. What is the Polemarch? Yeah, Blade of Eakides, Overkill. Give him some sort of mobility upgrade, Aristia, lighter alloys. Those are great. Blade of Eakides is fine. It's typically a meta-dependent item, so great against 100 Kingdoms, other city-states, and Dweg. So, yeah, if there's something else I could clarify better or focus on, let me know in the comments. Hopefully this is useful to you, and hopefully my headset wire doesn't look too stupid, because I think it does. That's all because I just haven't been charging my headset enough.